Hey everybody, it's Doug with Destiny Has No Secrets. Just coming to you, bringing you the review for the Crane cards, the core set that we've seen so far. We've already done the Dynasty cards from Part 1 and Part 2, so go back and watch those if you haven't seen them. And if you like this and want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. We're going to go ahead and go through the fate cards now, though, starting with Way the Crane. So, zero fate cost event. Way the Crane, philosophy trait, action, choose a current character you control, honor that character. There's a proper technique for all things. So, alright. This is, we talk about in the Dynasty videos about how each personality you really have to consider them being honored when you're looking at them. And this is one of the reasons why. Right off the bat, it's honoring any guy ubiquitously is going to be good. So it's a force pump, or military political skill pump. Um, Especially with political skill, there's not really a whole lot of options. It seems other than honoring. In honoring to give yourself political bonuses, that's really good. And also we can look at the cards like Savvy Politician, which uh, it gives you the reaction after the character's honored. Choose a character, honor that character. Now, when I was reviewing her in the last video, I was saying that I wouldn't necessarily waste this. I'd probably go for the ring effect, which claims the fire ring allows you to honor a personality on her. Use that on her. But still, this card in existence is going to be in Crane decks for a very long time. It also has no influence, by the way, so it can't be ported. So it's only going to be in Crane. Yeah, that means that whenever you will see them being honoring their guys. That's just going to be the thing for at least the foreseeable future, indeterminately until they start fiddling around with their playstyles. This is just a really solid card. I think it will be a 3 of in almost every single Crane deck because triggering, they want to honor their guys not only to gain honor for when they leave play, but obviously the military skill pumps, the political skill pumps that we talked about, but also just generally because they have so many effects that trigger off of being honored as a state. So, yeah, really solid card there. All right. Oh, yeah. Not to mention Dojo Toro, I was going to mention. Somebody set these things up, and I forgot to mention the fact that, yeah, you honor her, she becomes 9 political skill, 6 yeah, that's insanely good. Insanely good. Anyway. So, moving on. Voice of Honor. It's a 0 fate cost event. Interrupt when the effects of the event would when effects of an event would initiate. If you control more honored characters than your opponent, cancel those effects. And has 2 influence. Um, so we're going to talk about this card, and we're going to talk about Above Question together. Above Question is the 1 fate cost attachment. It provides +0 military, +0 political, is conditioned. Attached character cannot be chosen as a target of opponent's event. So one of Crane's themes is being above immune things because of their status, stature in society, because of their honor. And I think it's a great thing. This card needs to be in the game for Crane. A lot of people kind of got upset because it's a counterspell. Basically, it's if you haven't played Magic before, it's basically an effect that just cancels out. It says no, we can't do this, and that generally isn't a great thing. But this is in the faction that can't draw a lot because they're going to be setting their honor dial to 1 in order to not bleed honor. So they're not going to have as much card advantage. So I mean, they're quite possibly going to draw 3 of these during the course of a game, but more likely they won't. Not only that, but they need to be able to stop just the military factions that can just not care about honor and just draw a bunch. Okay, gain a bunch of honor, and gain 5 cards. And I'm just going to destroy you that much quicker. So card advantage is a big deal, and it is a big deal in this game, and having a cancellation effect And plus, it's also restricted. If you control more honored characters than your opponent, yeah, Crane will probably have that more often than not. But it is something that you can play around. Maybe you can claim the Ring of Fire and dishonor one of their guys in a military challenge that they're not going to defend in, as much. Or and then swing in on the next challenge and play that event you wanted to play. So it won't always be the case that they will have more honored people, than their opponent. Especially against like Lion, I would say. But also other clans, Phoenix and Unicorn might have more honored guys than not. Um, so yeah, it's not horrible. I think it's fine. I think it's actually a really good card. It is really interesting though. When the event would initiate, is there interesting phrasing? So I'm wondering what the timing on because in old 5R it was you announced the action, you had a timing window in which they could play counter effects, and you announce the action, pay costs, then you have a timing action in which you can counter effects, and then you resolve the effect, and the effect would end. Um, I wonder if they're going to have some similar sort of timing structure for playing events with the words initiate. I really hope that they keep with that phrasing. So that's a solid question I had. And with above question, Um, same thing. It's only for one person. It's one fate, which it still costs you a fate. It's two influence. I didn't mention that. Um, this makes me wonder what kind of attachment hate there's going to be out there. This is actually a little harder to get around than with Voice of Honor because it is an attachment. You can play it during a conflict, and you can attach it to somebody like Doji Toru and make it ridiculous. Ridiculously hard to deal with. So this is actually a little worse than Voice of Honor, I think. And I think some of the anger about this is a little. But then again, it is an attachment. There could be some hate out there, so it's really tough to tell whether or not this is actually fair or balanced, or whether or not this is going to be a little over the top, right? Otherwise, it's a good card, obviously. Not being targeted by events. There's also other effects in the game I would add that this doesn't stop. Personalities. If there's an action on the personality, if there's an action on another attachment, um, there's an action on a province. There's all kinds of places that effects can come from that this doesn't counter. So just makes them immune to events. So there's that. Steward of Law. One fate cost. Character. One military, one political, zero glory, courtier, and scholar traded. While this character is participating in a conflict, characters cannot become dishonored. This is one of the characters that you play from your conflict hand. Oh, and has one influence. Always got to remember that. I always forget that little tick down here. Um, this is a meta card, really. I really don't see too many decks wanting to dishonor out other than Scorpion or a dishonor deck. Granted, I think Dishonored decks are going to be a little bit more prevalent in other clans. I mean, because it's a core mechanic now that you can dishonor personalities. Um, so for that, maybe a one of two of in a deck. This guy wouldn't be horrible. Because I can imagine running into a Dishonored deck, could. But then again, Dishonor, you already have an innate way of coming out of Dishonor by honoring your guy. So, yeah, it reverts them only to normal. They don't gain the honorable status, but that doesn't seem to. I don't know. Like, I suppose if you're really, really super, depending on what we see out of the Scorpion, this card is really evaluated in the depending upon the other cards in the set and the other cards in the card pool at the time. So Dishonor is the more powerful the Dishonor is, the more powerful this guy will be. He's only one fate cost, so I like that. So you don't have to have him in play forever. If you just want to pitch one fate, put him into play, just to prevent your guys from being dishonored, you could do that. Oh, it's also fake characters can be played. Characters can be played during conflict phases can have their fate put on them too, so if you want to stick around, you could do that. Moving on, the perfect gift. 0 fate cost event. Action, reveal the top 4 cards of each player's conflict deck. Choose 1 reveal card owned by each player and add it to the owner's hand. Shuffle. Now, normally these kind of effects, I believe this is actually like one of those cards that they have in another core set somewhere, I think I saw. Like, this is not a new effect in an FFG game. Even still, it's not super great. It's a draw card, you know. But not only are you revealing your deck, which gives them information, and yeah, you see information of their deck too in exchange. But you're also giving them a card, which isn't great. It does allow for a shuffle, so depending upon whether or not that is relevant in the game, you know, giving yourself a shuffle could be relevant at some point. But you choose the worst card, give it to them. You're still giving them a card though, which I don't know if I like. You know, because they put that card in their deck obviously for a reason. I think balancing though draw effects with honored clans is going to be the tough part, because the honor mechanic itself, where you have to choose how many cards, is a balancer, right? So, you know, military clans should have to draw more cards, which also means they're accelerating honor conditions, right? But if you could just bid 1 and then play all these different draw effects, you know, other than that, it just replaces itself. So, I think in the beginning this will see a lot of play depending on what other effects are out there for drawing. As time goes on, it might get replaced because it does give your opponent something. It's not the greatest card. I'm not enthused about it. And one influence is splashable. I wouldn't splash into a faction where I already had another draw effect where I was playing a military clan. So, or something where I would draw more than 1 or 2 cards every turn. Yeah. Height of Fashion. 2 fate cost. Gives you 0 military, 4 political skill. Height of condition. The attachment cannot be played during a conflict, and it has 3 influence. Ah, that's insane. Fancy dresses. So what they're basically saying is the Crane sexy people, and that obviously means that being sexy people gets you victories like broken provinces. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say about that. For 2 fate for 4+4 political skill, other than the fact that you may not need it all the time because you have more than a couple guys with 4 political skill, a lot of political skill. But it's still not bad. I think it would be a good solid 2 of. At 3 influence, I don't see this being splashed if 10 influence, because the Crane Stronghold starts with 10 influence. So let's assume that's standard, you know, even if it's a little lower, like I'll play a point or 2. Yeah, it probably won't be splashed. But it's not a bad card. This is a card. Definitely good. You can even take a little chump nobody with a little, like, you know, and put it out there. This is gonna you can't really play during conflict. That's probably the only thing, so you can't surprise them. But yeah. Noble Sacrifice. 1 fate cost event. Action. Sacrifice a friendly honored character. Choose a dishonored character. Discard that character. 2 influence. This is a card. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. 1. You're gonna sacrifice a friendly honored character. So I'm gonna pay 1 fate to gain 1 honor because my character's gonna leave play, and they're honored. I'm gonna choose a dishonored character. Okay, that's conditional. I have to get you dishonored to do it. Not impossible though. There's already Art of Peace, for instance, the Province card, which dishonors characters. There's Fire Ring, which dishonors characters. There's other effects. We also have what else? We have Shame, the Corset card. I'm thinking of conflict for Shame, right? Which is a 0 fate cost event during the conflict. If you control a participating card of your character, choose a participating character controlled by your opponent. Your opponent must select one, dishonor the chosen character or ballot. Now, they'll probably dishonor a lot of times, but that opens it up to this card. Now you kill that character. Okay, and they're gonna lose honor for doing it because you're gonna. I think it's like 1 honor when you lose a dishonored character. Yeah, really good, so strong, and it doesn't have to be in a conflict. I don't even think it really, depending on when you could play actions, I don't think it has to be during the conflict phase. That is so good. Oh my god, that is just ridiculous. Swing it with political. Dishonor that guy. During between action sequences, before you attack, kill you. Kill that guy that you were planning on attacking with. Gain an honor. Ha ha ha. Thanks for using my bridge there. Wow. This is just a pretty much not an unrestricted, but it's damn near unrestricted kill card. At a crane. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. For 1 fate, too. I think that's probably, honestly, that's probably his biggest handicap is the 1 fate. Because I could see keeping fate into going into an action phase could be very difficult. But yeah, this is going to see play and see play a lot. It's even for 2 influence, I'd see it being splashed. Really good. 1 fate cost attachment. Duelist training. I should probably say here's the name. Duelist training. 1 fate cost attachment. +0 military, +0 political. Technique. Attach character gains action. While this character is participating in conflict, choose a participating character controlled by your opponent. Challenge that character to a military duel. Instead of giving honor for the duel's bid, a player may choose to discard a number of cards from hand. Battle the loser of the duel. Sorry about that. Word salad there. There's a lot of words on that card. Basically, yeah, instead of trading honor, so if they bid really high, they just ditch cards from their hand. Right. And it's a battle effect. Portable duel, 1, that you could put on a personality. Pretty strong. And only battles the loser of the duel. Honestly, I see a lot of situations where I'm going to take a guy like, it's military challenge, so I'll go pick a guy like Doji or Narishina, right, who's 3 military skill, attach this card to him, right, well, he's honored, so it'll be 4, right, swing him in, military challenge, right, against some dude, force them to blow honor, right, just to keep their guy from getting bowed, and I gain honor, and I bow my loser, and intentionally losing the duel, gaining honor. Oh, do I need to discard? Right? Or forcing the discard cards. Both of those are really cool. It's kind of nod to the old dueling system. That's what I like about it. It's kind of sneaky there, right? Mechanical nod, I guess you would call it. Yeah, it's really solid. Not only that, but the ability just to port out a battle action to anybody with a reasonable military skill. Um, it's really solid for 1 fate. It's also 1 influence, so it could definitely be splashed. You're going to see this in decks just to make them a dueling deck if they don't already have some in-faction resource for it. They'll probably ally Crane if they're able to, and put 3 of this in there. So I like that. I used to play a Lion dueling deck, so I might actually consider doing this because it seems really good. I would like to swing in with my lions and force you to discard cards. So, yeah, there is that. All right, admit defeat, one fake cost event. Action, choose a character that is defending alone. Battle that character has 2 influence points. Um, I don't know about how often about defending alone would be. I see this pretty good. It's all right. So one, I like the fact it could be for any type of conflict. It's not restricted to military or political necessarily. There are times when I could see them defending alone on like a political or military challenge, just because they know they're going to be like if I have like a bunch of guys and I swing in with 4 dudes, and you just put a speed bump in my way because you know that I'm going to win the political challenge anyway because that's what I'm geared to do. Bounding that character could be good to prevent them from using actions and things like that. If you just swing in with one military guy, who doesn't look like he'd take the province, maybe the brash samurai, right? And they defend with one dude just because they want to respect it, but not really commit a whole lot, then you could bow that character and win. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. Uh, 2 influence. I don't know if it'll be ported as portable. Whether or not I really don't see a bow action being something to brag about. In another faction, what I mean, something to put into another faction unless they're really suffering from it or from the lack of it. But for Crane, it's pretty good. A lot of times, if they're playing a dueling deck, I could see them running solo defenders, right? Just to try to sit there and swing back at with a lot of guys, whatever. So anyway, I think that's all the cards that we got here. Did we do it? I think we're done. Check here. Yep. Those are all fake. So that brings us to the end of our fake card reviews. Overall, I think they made out better in their Dynasty segment. Noble Sacrifice is just insanely good, and Voice of Honor being the best cards in the conflict decks so far or the conflict cards they've received so far. But I definitely think they did better in the Dynasty side of the faction, which is probably to be expected. They're not going to rely on conflict cards as much, I would think, because they're probably going to be drawing less. But yeah, really good. There's some really solid cards here, and I really like the dueling cards that they have. And Noble Sacrifice is insanely good. I've already said it. Way the Crane. I'm just gonna see it in every deck. Yeah, I like it. I like what they've done here. So there you go. That concludes our review of the Corsair Crane cards that have been previewed, and hope you enjoyed it. Please like or subscribe. I'll be trying to do these as clans come out as I could do them and release content during the week. So, and make sure to like and follow us on SoundCloud, our podcast, our normal weekly podcast on SoundCloud or here on YouTube when we stream it, or we also break down videos and do all that other stuff. We have a whole ton of ways of contacting us in the description. Please check out and please leave a comment, and so we can talk about this kind of stuff. So we always enjoy those. Anyway, I'm Doug, and this is Destiny Has No Secrets, and this has been Crane Card Clan Review. Take it easy.